Okay.
Part
Take
two.
two. Well, welcome everyone to well, I guess yeah, take two of the episode. Actually, we'll call this episode 37. What, point two? Or yeah, point two.
Yeah, part two. Or
Yeah,
this
part
could
two.
just be episode 38. I mean, if you look
Yeah,
at it
yeah,
like
either one of the Tennessee USA Wrestling Power Hour podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hatcher. Kenya Sloan is my co-host, and we're here just breaking it down of what's happening in Tennessee
something like
USA
that.
wrestling these days, or just Tennessee wrestling in general. So, welcome everyone. And Kenya, how are you doing today? We took the week off. Well, we didn't take the week off. You and I saw you last.
Oh, I see what you mean. From the show.
There we go. Okay.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
yeah, I heard
That was
you.
weird.
Yeah, we took a week off from the show.
Oh no, it was weird. My other window that's open in my browser here just started playing. I was listening to the Flow Wrestling podcast, and it just started. I didn't know if you heard that or not.
No, I didn't hear it at all.
Oh,
Your computer is just like
oh,
got a
okay,
mind
we're
of its
back.
own.
Okay, yeah, the computer's doing crazy things. So
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, we're back. How's it going?
it's going great. Yeah, we
How's
took
how's life after Fargo?
you guys did not mislead me about how intense the week is. And life after Fargo when you get back is just like it's like a brutal like awakening, like snap back to reality. Because you feel like after that's over, you feel like you're supposed to come home and like sleep for 3 days and like not think
Hmm.
about wrestling and like not see any of your wrestlers. But that's not how it works. You come back and everything's still going.
Yeah, yeah, life's still happening. It's really wild. Yeah, the week back is always like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Last year was wild for me because I actually came back from Fargo, and then we started our Young Guns camp. Like literally, I just said
The next
I
day.
came back on Saturday, and we started our Young Guns camp. I set up for the Young Guns camp on Sunday, and then started camp on Monday, right after Fargo. Yeah,
Jeez. That was a
so it
brutal.
was nice to have that week, have that buffer week because our camp is next week. So
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'll say
yeah,
on my end, it was kind of like wrestling wise, it was kind of nice coming back because like obviously we hit it hard training for Fargo. So like the
yeah,
environment of the room, like leading up versus like the environment as soon as we get back, obviously it's a
hmm,
lot more laid back. Like being able to have fun and not like be so serious and on edge the whole time. So
oh
it
yeah,
was nice. I mean, the practice room is really nice after Fargo because it's kind of
yeah,
like you got a break for a minute, you know.
yeah. Of course, yeah. No, it's a long week. Let's put it that way. It's a long week, but I mean, the wrestling in Fargo is. I mean, yeah. I mean, let me ask you that right off the jump.
Yeah.
What'd you think on the girls? On the girls, actually, you were there for the guys and the girls. So,
Yeah.
what'd you think of the wrestling in general?
I think that no one is prepared for Fargo until you go to Fargo, right? No matter like if you're the number one seed or if you're like a kid who's never been, like it's always going to be tougher than you think it is. Or at least I feel like that's what I saw, right, from the kids that I took, especially the kids that I know, right, how they are as wrestlers and I know what like caliber athlete they are and maybe their expectations of themselves at the tournament. And
Mhm.
what I came to realize is that for like every single athlete on every single level, like however tough you thought it would be, just like expect it to be a little tougher than that.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing, man. It was so fun to go into it with athletes who are on like all different places on the spectrum of, right, I've been here before. My goal is to win it versus like, I've never been here before. My goal is to win a match, right? Which was like a legitimate goal for some of the
Oh
wrestlers
yeah.
that showed up. And kudos to them for having the guts to still like put in what it takes to go there and do it. So, but even yeah, even if that was your goal to like win a match, like if you thought it was kind of gonna be hard, like you realize
Mhm.
once you got there, like no, that this is actually a reasonable goal. Like this could be tough for some people. So it was really cool. It was fun to watch. Obviously, there's 30 freaking mats. So I mean, like you as an individual get to watch like. I mean, a 30th of what's going on the whole time, really. Like, even if you're not on the mat with somebody, like, if you're watching, it's like you barely get a glimpse of what really happened as far as the tournament goes. Obviously, like you get to see the finals matches one by one, but I mean, it's a lot to take in. But from what I saw, I was just impressed and upset with myself that I never went because I'm like, dang, I felt like I could do this. So let that be a lesson that I learned for you guys. If you ever thought about going, if there's ever anything like now, do it because I mean,
Yeah.
one day you won't be able to, right? So like you'll look back and I hope you never wish like, oh, I wish I would have wrestled in this tournament or oh, I wish I would have done this for and during wrestling or whatever. But it was a really, really cool experience. I'm glad I got to do it like on the coaching end. And
Yeah.
man, it's a tough, good. tournament. It's a well ran tournament. I was so impressed the
Mhm.
entire time and how smoothly everything was. Um, but yeah, it's great. Wrestling was good. Wrestling was good.
Mhm.
I was looking at some of the brackets, being like, "Phew, I like happy it's
It's
not
good.
me."
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's insane. Like, I've been going for so long, and it's always good to get like, newbies, uh, versions of the tournament, because
Yeah.
I've been I've been through it for quite a while now. This is God, I want to add it up. I think my first year going to Fargo was in 2000, so it's 24 years ago. I mean, it that was my first time was because it was and oh man, here we go, date myself again,
I
but
know, because here, I know
it,
you hate for me to remind you this, but I want you to know that if 2000 was the first year that you went, then the first year that you went was the year I was born.
yeah. Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate that. but when I was in high school, we did Fargo was not there was no Fargo. It was called Junior Nationals, and this was way back when they had separated it. They used to have the Cadet Nationals and the Junior Nationals. Junior Nationals were in Cedar Falls at the Unidome. And I never went. I was playing baseball at the time, so in the summer. So I never went. My brother went. He was a big baseball player too. He went one year. I just didn't. It wasn't to wrestle in the summer back then. I mean, it was a big deal, but
Right.
not for me. I didn't do it. I just never did. I just
Yeah.
played baseball. But yeah, I kind of kicked myself in the rear for not going. I wish I would have gotten that experience because it was, obviously they had the Iowa team camps and all that type of stuff, and it would have been a really cool experience. But since I started going in 2000, it's just the evolution of the whole tournament's just, I mean,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sure that's
it's
cool to
crazy.
see.
And it's a deal where you see like the different dynamics from the different states that go and kind of how they're doing it now. Um, I always tell people, I mean, and I still complain about how long it is, but I always have to check myself because when I first started going, I was with Team Florida, because I spent 4 years in Florida after I coached
Hmm.
4 years in Iowa. So I was on Florida's board of directors from 2000 to 2004, and so I was on the board of directors and also the national team staff. And I said there's still like guys that are still on the national team that I was coaching with back then, still going with the Florida team.
Yeah.
So we laugh about this every summer because people, they say, and I'm guilty of anything. I complain about how long the tournament is because it is a very long tournament, 7 days of competition, or even more so with the girls. Yeah, actually, it's like 8 days total. I think the
Yeah.
girls started Saturday, and then the guys finished on Saturday. So 7. They've condensed it all into 7. But the tournament used to be like 9 or 10 days. And then Florida, oh yeah, and this was just boys. This was before girls, so it was just boys back then, cadet and junior, for like 9 or 10 days, and
Because they
then
would do like cadet freestyle, junior
yeah, they
freestyle,
just drug it
cadet.
out.
Yeah.
They just drug it out a little bit more, and it
Jeez.
was nearly as efficiently run, and it was just yeah. I don't. I think they always had the same amount of mats, but it was kind of drug out a little bit. But then they had to start condensing everything to get the people through because the numbers got bigger. But us as a state in Florida, we used to go in like a week and a half or even longer to Fargo before. So I would literally be in
Just
those
to
dorms
train.
for 3 weeks because we would do our training camp in Fargo. This was the first. I want to say this was the first 2 or if not 3 years I was in Florida that we did this,
Jeez.
and so and you kind of probably experienced a little bit when when you were there. You saw that the weather shifts. Some days it was really hot outside, and some days were really
You have
super
to wear a
pleasant.
jacket. Yeah.
Well, that was kind of what you get in Fargo. You get like some days that are like ungodly hot. That I mean, where you're literally like I remember Vic Lorenzano and I, who I roomed with every year I was on the Florida staff. I mean, we had fans that you had to put in the windows because none of the dorms were air conditioned. We stayed in the
Yeah.
dorms for 2 weeks.
And that's still
And
how it
then,
is from what I
oh,
hear.
yeah, it was awful. And then we would have to like literally have a cooler full stocked of ice. And we would dip towels into the cooler before
For
we go to
three
bed at night.
weeks.
And like that would be our blanket. So we'd get to bed at night because it was like 95 degrees and all humidity it was just miserable. It was
That's
so bad.
brutal.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is
So
brutal.
now, I mean, the last time I stayed in the dorms was my first year. My first year here in Tennessee. I wasn't state chairman yet. Larry Johnson was the state chairman, and Al Miller and I roomed together in the dorms, and it was the same type of thing. And we caught one of those hot summers, and I just told Al, I said, moving forward, no more. That's it. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I will not do this. So started looking at the hotel side, and now it's just a lot better. And now a lot of teams have followed suit, though. because a lot of teams there's not nearly as many teams that stay in the dorms anymore. It's
Right.
just
So was that just like the standard at one point? Like if you
it was,
went to
it was
Fargo,
a
you stayed in
standard.
the dorm?
It
Yeah.
was pretty much a standard. Very few teams used to stay in hotels back in the day.
I feel like
And
it's close. I mean,
all
at
the
least from people that I spoke to, it seems almost like 50-50 now.
Yeah, no, it's probably even more so. It's probably even more hotels now. Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody just kind of figured it out that it's just there's no
This
use
is not it.
there's no use being that miserable. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
there for for basically a week and a half. There's no reason to be that miserable, even if it costs a little bit extra money. You know what? There's just no reason to be that miserable. So, but yeah, so that's it. But the wrestling's always been good. This is always like, and of course I'm biased because I'm a USA Wrestling guy, but man, just the level of competition that's there. It probably, I would say, I shouldn't say it used to be tougher. It probably, you got a lot more of the seniors that wrestled in it before. Like there was a spurt when I first started going, because like now the seniors, when they're committed, there's a small percentage of them that still wrestle in Fargo. They're probably done. There might be training at the school that they're going to be at the following year. They just decided not to go. Whereas back in the day, I mean, all the seniors showed up, even if they were committed to colleges. They were there, competing for a national championship. So it's a great tournament. Sometimes you still get a little bit of that. You still get some of the seniors that show up, but back then it was like a lot of the seniors still showed up. I mean, I still remember the Brett Metcalfs and the Schladers and I mean, just I remember all those guys, and a lot more used to double up too. There used to be a lot more of them that was a big deal to be a double champ, double All American.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't see that. You see a lot more specialization now, and it's just the way wrestling's going. I say it's good, bad, whatever. But all I know is that this will continually, in my opinion, be the toughest tournament in the country. It just will, just because of
the reputation
the way it's laid out. The way it's laid out, and the way it's laid out because of this. Because I would the only tournament that I would compare that's even on this level is Super 32. It's Fargo and Super 32. Those, hands down, in my opinion, are the toughest in the country. There's nothing even close. Where Super 32, when you get knocked out in the front round, or the front, then you go in the backside, and then they cut it down. So you start going 1-1-1 periods because the brackets are so big. They got to get that tournament done in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
So on the backside, and this was going back when I was recruiting that tournament. At times, it's kind of hard to see. Really, I shouldn't say how good a kid, because I mean anybody that plays the Super 32 is legit. They're good. Don't get me wrong. Like on the backside, when they're only wrestling 1-1-1s,
right.
it's usually one. It's one
accurate.
takedown. If you get one takedown, you basically seal the deal. And then it's like becomes a ride out situation where it's like one guy can ride the other guy out, and outside he goes down. It's just I'm saying you get a lot of 1-0s, that type of matches, 2-1s. But on the backside of Fargo, you're still going 2-3 minute periods. You see a lot of wrestling. And when we were there on the first day of freestyle, and we're still there, we're supposed to be done at I think at 8, and we're still there at 8:30, 9, like almost 9 o'clock. And some of those kids thought they were going to be done at 8 o'clock, and they're still like having to and they're on the backside. They're not even in the blood round yet, and they're still having to go a 6-minute match with uber stud from another state.
Yeah, no, I think
you
that was
really
a surprise to me.
who's tough.
Right, you really do, because it's no longer just like who's a better wrestler, but also like who has the ability to stay zoned in, who's mature enough to do the right things for their body to last them from 8 in the morning until 8 at night, 9 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like it's so easy to check out, regardless of which side you're on, right? Obviously, it's harder on the consolation side, but like if you're on the champ side in a lot of tournaments, I think you think like, oh, well, this is like going to be the quickest, easiest route. And it's true, it is the quickest and easiest, but it is still a long route. It's not like you got to win 3 or 4. Like you have got, I mean, and it's not like you
don't find any chumps on the front side.
No.
I mean, you start going deeper on the front side. This is the quality of wrestler gets tougher.
Yeah.
So it's not.
That's
I mean,
a really good point. It really is. It's a lot more about like just I think a lot of maturity has to be shown to do well at this tournament. No matter how good of a wrestler you are, it's not just about the 6 minutes for Fargo. It's about how you like handle the entire tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good kids that didn't place in this tournament. I mean, it's insane.
Oh, dude. I mean, obviously, if you look at, the whole tournament, yes, but even if you just look at our kids, right? It's like actually, when you said that just now, I like kind of got like a weird feeling in my stomach, right? Because I took kids who was hands down ready, right? Like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're one of the best. Like they've won national tournaments. They've won multiple state championships, right? And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to All-American, right? Let's just see how high we can get. And then it's just like, we need to make it to the blood rounds,
Yeah,
right?
I know. I
It's
mean,
a
it's a wrestle the second day. It's
it's a
crazy.
cruel awakening. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny because after the first round, I think that like that first day of freestyle, boys freestyle is just it's just there's so many good wrestlers. But then of course the second day happens, and everybody that's still in the tournament with blood round guys all the way through the medal matches, it's just incredible matches. But so Jarvis Little, who's obviously one of our best kids, that's graduated this past year from our last class, going to App State, 3-time state champ, NHSCA finalist, uh, multiple time All American, multiple national tournaments. I mean, first round. I mean, it was like he survives a scare, and you look at a scare like, I mean, we got me and his dad, Pete Miller, his head coach, are looking at each other like, man, what's the deal? I mean, I knew that the other kid was good. He's from Iowa, really good kid, and he was just tough. And I was like, wow, I'm just chalking up like he's tough, and and Pete and Jarvis saying, he's got to get, he's got to get better, he's got to be ready to go, right away, because he was down until the last like 10 seconds and hit a guy for 4, on a double to his feet to back, and ended up winning the match with the last 10 seconds. And I was like, man, but I want to say that other kid is really good. Sure enough, I was going to put his name on the band. And my buddy Dylan Grew, who was his coach, who's the Iowa kids coach, he was in his corner. And I knew he had been pretty good because Dylan runs Big Game Wrestling Club, big club at Iowa. And he was saying, Dylan had called me. So I knew the kid was good. I just didn't know how good. He called me and he goes, all right, tell me your kid's good. And I was like, I mean, yeah, he's real good. Why? I said, please tell me your kid's good because we barely won. And he's like, dude, that kid is like one of my best kids, man. He's freaking 2-time Iowa champ. He's 4-time place winner. He's going to South Dakota State. He said, I was so mad at him because he lost to a Tennessee kid, but then I saw you in the corner there. And I was like, thank God. I said, no offense. I mean, I don't want to wish your kids lose it at any time, but I was hoping your kid was really good too, because we were kind of like, what in the world, man? First round, I mean, you got, this kind of match the first round.
And that's how the tournament is. There's no easy matches, no matter who you are.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
But that's also like such a great testament to like how our reputation as a state is evolving. Like I know we talked about, we kind of like hit it here and there, but for someone to actually say that to you, like, oh, I was so mad that my kid got beat by a Tennessee kid. Well, expect that from now on. Hopefully, like we got something going on over here.
That's what I told him. I said, hey man, our kid's no joke. He's a 3-time champ. He's freaking NHSCA, All American multiple times. He's going to App State. He's like, okay, all right. He said, I figured he was probably decent, but I mean, I was like, yeah, no, he's good. Trust me, he's good. So yeah, it was, but then, but that bracket, I mean, I was just throwing that, I mean, that 132-pound bracket, I mean, was like ridiculously deep. It was insanely deep. And, of course you got to tell, I mean, that just tells you, I mean, basically you see how many really great kids there. I mean, they're talking about Jarvis Little, wrestles his Iowa kid, first round, let's go South Dakota State, 2 D1 recruits, first round. I don't know if Jarvis in place, but I don't know if the other kid placed or if he came all the way back or whatever. But then you look at a kid, then you look at how like good the elite of the elite of the elite is. So the Mendoza kid from California meets Jack Forrest in the finals. And Jack Forrest, who got beat by him, I think back in the trials, teched him in like 30 seconds. I mean, that just tells you like how good the elite of the elite of the elite are. I mean, it just puts it in perspective. You
like see the different levels in situations like this. Like you think that there's good and there's really good, but no, there's actually like there's good and then there's really good and there's really really good and then there's like really 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 good.
I know, it's
like
insane.
It doesn't stop. Yeah,
it's crazy. So yeah, but I guess that's kind of our long-winded answer of how Fargo is, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
You know what? We could easily chop it up. Maybe this week, maybe next week, we just get on and kind of share more experiences like that. I think this is like really good. People don't understand.
Fun, I know.
Yeah, people understand. Like maybe we get another coach on here and we'll chop it up. About
we absolutely should. We should get
I think that'd be a good idea.
Boys and girls side.
Yeah, and just just kind of give people like another, because we've got our guests. We got to get our guests on here. Obviously we got to give them the shine for sure. But yeah, I just think that people have to hear. They have to understand like really kind of what, what's happening at this tournament.
You don't know until you're there, right? I mean, that's what I experienced.
Only know what you know. So, yeah. But I do know this. I do know you have some results for us.
There you go.
Let's get into it. There we go. How's that transition? Woohoo!
Yes. So on the girl side of the tournament, I was lucky enough to go and spend time with all of our girls at at the tournament. And I mean, also, I mean, that was kind of a different thing for me too, right? That I experienced somewhat
Yeah.
in Tulsa for our national like dual tournament. But I got to coach kids that I've been in their. I'm the only person who's ever been in their corner, or I've been in their corner for at least this year. And then I've also like got to stand in corners of kids who I like maybe met for the first time, or like got to coach for the first time. So it was a really really cool experience for me to be able to connect with the girls. And for every single one of them that went, I have to say I'm like so extremely proud. So like as a state on the girls side, we had just like a record breaking year, to be honest. So we took, I think, maybe 35. You would probably know better. I think we took 35 girls altogether, but I know that out of those 35, we had five All Americans, which also just speaks again to how tough the tournament is, right? That means we had 30 kids go who didn't even make the podium, and we had five that did. And that sound like when you hear those numbers, they sound not that great. But when we tell you that that's the most All Americans that we've ever had from the state of Tennessee on the girls' side, that sounds awesome. And then we also, as a team, took eighth place out of 49 states that were represented on the 16U side for
Wow.
girls, which is also, I mean, the best that we have ever performed at the tournament. So, um, yeah, it's just like we keep talking about, like you don't really understand the level of competition, how tough it is till you're there, right? When you say like we took 35 and only five hit the podium, that sounds like, but when you realize like with those five and with some of the work that we did on the back end, even for kids who didn't place, we were able to break top 10 out of practically all 50 states, right? We had 49. I don't know who wasn't there. Like that shows you how much it means to get five kids on the podium, right? That got us to eighth
Oh yeah.
place. So we got five. For 16U, fifth place with a 155-pound bracket, we had Miss Audrey Lewandowski, who was an absolute joy to get to work with this year. Man, like a freaking go getter. I'm friends with. I know the Lewandowski family well because I wrestled. Audrey and I's sister Joy wrestled like in the same era in college, and
Yeah.
since they moved to Tennessee, I've gotten to know them a little bit. But I've never really got to maybe once I got to work with Audrey, but she is like a yes ma'am, no sir, like this is what I need from you, yes coach. We're drilling, hey, do this different, yes coach. And it was so fun to be able to get to work with her throughout this week. So congrats Audrey, fifth place at 155. Next we had our girl Riley Sturgill, who's no stranger to our podcast or anyone who keeps up with wrestling here. She took fourth place in the 100-pound bracket for 16U. Um, and which I mean, Riley was a freaking dog. I know you got to watch her wrestle too, and
Oh
I
yeah.
know some of the losses for her had to have been heartbreaking, but she handled each one with such poise um, and walked off and came back ready to take care of business. So it was great to watch her this past week. And then we had our next three All Americans are not only All Americans, but they're also finalists. Which is again another record for our state on the girl side. We had three females who were in the uh, finals
I
of
know.
Fargo
Yeah.
National Championship. Like what? That's awesome.
You know
So
it
we
was
had
cool. You know it was cool about that. I mean, at the time, because you were actually coaching up there on the stage. But at one time, we had two Tennessee girls that were one on one mat and one on the other. Emma was on one mat, and I think Caroline was on the other mat.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
it was Ella
that's
and
awesome.
Janaya were up at the same time.
Or no, no, Ellen Janaya. That's right, Ellen
Yeah.
Janaya. Yep, that's right.
Which
That's
was
right.
cool.
Because you could only quarter one.
I know. And I was, yeah, that was a rough situation as coach, but
Yeah,
both of them had what they needed. So
yeah.
we had Ella Murphy at 190 for junior. She took second place. We had Caroline Hilton, 130 at 16U. She took second place. And then we had a single solo Fargo national champion, Janiyah Johnson, 16U, 155 pounds, first place. So
Dude, she
congratulations.
looked really good. She was. I mean,
She
she's.
looks so good.
This is the first time I've seen her wrestle, and man, oh man, she is freaking dynamite. I mean, she has got
Right.
some great skills. She
Yeah,
really does.
she's like a very naturally in tune with her
Mhm,
body. She's just got a high like wrestling IQ. Like I think that comes pretty natural. Obviously, she's
mhm,
had a lot of really good coaches over the past few years over in the Clarksville area.
mhm.
That I know have contributed a lot to her. But something else really unique about Janiyah that I got to learn this past week is you see it when you could be a stranger and watch her wrestle and you could pick this up. But she has so much fun
Yeah.
that it like it I think it frees her to compete, especially for any wrestler, right? We've talked about the mindset game, but especially on the female side, I think a lot of being able to win a match or show up your true self is being able to like have good control over your nervousness, right? And everyone's nervous. I'm sure Janai is nervous. Like, I mean, you have the lights and the smoke and everything going out into the finals, but just in her antics and mannerisms, you could tell that she's like has no pressure on herself, right? She's
No,
just showing up and she's just like,
yeah,
I
because
just want
she
to
got
do
down
this.
right away. She got
Huh?
down the match right away. She got down in the match right away, and she just kept coming back, kept plugging
She just
away,
kept
and
coming. She just
yeah,
kept coming. And
yeah, she's
man,
like, well, no
came
big
to be in
deal.
her corner. She comes back in her corner, and all she needed was like, we just told her like, hey, what you're doing is working. Keep looking for your singles. I promise they're there. And you like see her believe what we're saying,
Yeah.
and then she goes out, and then she keeps hitting them, right? And she just
Oh
has.
man,
I mean, if I could have as
and
much
she's got
fun,
high level single, high
yeah,
level.
you're good. They were
Yeah.
good. So she did great. I mean, all of our wrestlers
And
did
the girl that she wrestled, I think, was from Missouri. Is that right? Missouri. That girl was. I mean, that girl was tough. She was really
You're
good.
right, Missouri. Hmm.
I think it's Missouri, maybe either Missouri or Ohio, one of the two. But man, because somebody commented behind and said, "Oh, this girl's pretty good."
Yeah.
And I was standing there watching it, and I was like, "Our girl's good too."
Hey, hey,
He's
ours is
like,
pretty good.
"You see the shirt? I mean, come on."
Yeah, it was a good match. It was
Yeah,
a good match. Janai's amazing. Congratulations, Janai, on winning. This is such a big deal, something you'll like never forget. But congrats to our other five, and
yeah,
congrats to our other 30 who showed up and were brave enough to, put what they've got to the test. So, congratulations,
absolutely.
everybody. So that's what happened on the girl side. We have a very special guest who is
Yeah,
one of our
let's get
three
on her.
finalists from Fargo. If you want to bring her on.
Where's she at? Caroline, there she is.
What's up?
What's
Hi,
up,
Caroline.
Caroline? Caroline, you in bed? Yeah, she's still sleeping from Fargo. If Fargo wore out,
Yeah, don't blame you. We can't hear you. Do you have your mic? Is your
yeah,
thing on
you in
mute?
mute? Sure.
No. Are you connected on a Bluetooth device or anything?
Yeah, no sound. Where you at?
Wah, 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 wah. Maybe
You got AirPods in? Huh.
try try and leave us and come back really quick. Oh,
There
we
you
hear
go.
you.
There it is.
Okay, okay.
Hello,
How you
Caroline.
doing? Come
Welcome
on,
back.
Caroline. Who'd you have you help you there? Your dad?
My
Dad had to
dad,
help you?
yeah.
Of course. Yeah, Kevin Hilton solves all.
He does, he does.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. I last time that you were on this podcast, we had never met each other. I had no idea who you are. You had no idea who I was. Hatch was our single connection.
That's
And
it.
look at us now. I know Caroline. I got to
Yeah.
hang out with her this past week in Fargo. We got to cut a little bit of weight together. We got to joke around.
Oh wow. Well, shoot,
Yeah.
I might as well just get off this portion of that. Let you two chop it. I bring nothing to the table here with you. Now you two know each other. See, it's all
Oh
about
my
the
goodness.
introduction. It's the only thing I brought to the table before. So
That's
now
so true.
I'll let the professionals handle it.
That's crazy. I'll have to say one thing, and you have to. Hopefully, you'll agree with me. And Caroline, you're going to be like mortified that I'm saying this on our show, but you probably already know what I'm going to say. One thing about Caroline that you don't really understand until you meet her in person is that she has this swagger about her,
She
right? You
does.
know what I mean? Like
Oh
the
yeah.
way she walks, the way she talks, the way she like jokes around, the way she has her headphones and her sweatpants. Like there's no word I could use other than swagger. I had to check in with her and Riley. I was like, is swagger still a cool word? I don't really know. But
That couldn't have been a better description, I think, of Caroline right there.
I think so too.
I'll tell you, that is 100% it. 100%.
All right. So here we
That's not
have
a bad thing, Caroline. That's not a bad
that's a
thing. See,
great
swagger
thing.
was a big deal back in my day. I'm surprised Kenny even brought that up. I'm not sure. Like she said, I don't know if that's cool anymore, if y'all the cool kids are using it anymore, but that's a big deal. It's a big
Yeah.
compliment. It's a big compliment.
There we have it. Caroline Hilton, full of swagger, ninth grader, going to be ninth grader at Cleveland.
Yes.
How long have you been wrestling? You probably told us this before.
How long have I been wrestling?
Yeah,
I think this is like my 7th year,
there you go.
maybe 8th.
7 years of wrestling. She's going to
Yeah.
Cleveland High School next year. She is our second place winner at our Fargo National Championship most recently, but she's also she took second at Women's Nationals this year too. That was this year, right? There you go. So this is not your first time being on a big stage like this in a finals match.
Yeah. It was like for trials, like
Mhm.
for the finals, it was similar. I was up on a big stage, but it wasn't as like cool. There was no smoke and lights or music or anything like that.
Yeah.
We'd just get up there and wrestle as soon as we were up.
Yeah. So does that change things from you? Like from the athlete perspective, like going out on the stage when there's all this like hoorah and stuff?
I feel like it made it a lot more fun to like go out there and wrestle with all those people and the lights and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun.
It looked like fun. You look like you're having fun out there.
It was fun.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about your journey at the tournament at Fargo to your final match.
So my first match, I warmed up, but I wasn't like mentally warmed up yet. So I went out there and I got bullied a lot by my coach for doing a headlock because I like kind of messed up a little bit. So I just threw a headlock and I got back up. I took a shot and then leg laced her. And then my second match, pretty sure I dumped. I did a dump and then pinned her with a bar. And then my round of 16 match was significantly harder after our break. So we broke, and then we had our round of 16 and then our quarterfinals. And that was a lot harder. The girls were very intense. They wrestled hard. They were constantly going after me. I didn't get a break really. So those matches were really fun to wrestle.
Well, man,
they were also very strong.
Yeah.
The like skill level jump from that to the round of 16 was insane. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
Your opponents probably say the same thing. It looks like you didn't give them a break either. That's crazy that you're saying, "Oh, I didn't get a break," but I was watching the match. You sure didn't give them a break either.
Yeah. Was he teching these girls all the way up to like the? Yeah, they didn't give you a break at all, Caroline. You took it totally easy on them.
So then, that was your round of 16.
So after round of 16, I had my quarterfinals match, and the match, my nose was like 10 times the size that it usually is, and it was all swollen, and my face was all scratched up because I was so like worried at defending. It was crazy. So I did a lot of defending with my face.
Hey.
And wrecked my face.
It looks better. It looks good now.
And thank you. I think I teched her. I'm not really sure. It's really hard for me to like remember the scores of my matches.
That's okay. Good.
But she was harder than the round of 16 girl for sure.
Right.
Round of 16, I got like lucky at the very end. I was beating her the whole way through, and then she did a move on me, and I like caught her and just rolled her over her neck and like pinned her with like the last 10 seconds left in the match.
Too bad we don't have a photo of that. That was pretty cool to watch. I can't lie.
Yeah, but quarters, the girl she was tough. She was very tough. She was good at hand fighting and very fast. They were all very fast. So
yeah. You are too, though, huh?
And then I got back to the hotel, and I was forced to ice bath. So that wasn't fun.
You were against your will? Forced is an aggressive word, Caroline.
I think Riley's dad was the one that forced you, wasn't he?
Actually, yeah, and my dad.
Your dad and Riley's dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin and Josh for making sure they get those ice baths in.
Yep.
That's funny.
So I saw your dad dragging that ice in, at the beginning. Like, what? I mean, ice makers aren't working here or what?
Yeah.
It's like, ice bath going. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, good, that's smart.
I was cutting weight, and I was on my way back from like one of the practices that I did, and I was in the car, and I was like, that ice bath is gonna feel so good, and it was not. It definitely was not.
Was that your first ice bath?
It's just like, it just wasn't fun. He put like 3 bags of ice in this tiny little tub, and it was very cold.
Yeah, they're never fun. I mean, ice baths, cold plunges and ice baths are never fun. They're just, they're necessary.
Yep.
Necessary.
Necessary for good health.
Very necessary.
I agree. Okay, so we hear how you went through the tournament. Can you talk to us a little bit about your preparation for the tournament? Maybe like once you got into Fargo the day before. Oh, you got in maybe, yeah, you got in the day before or 2 days, the day before we weighed in. So like your 2 days while you're in Fargo, and then maybe the week leading up to it. Like what did it look like in your practice room? What did your training look like? Did you prepare for any specific opponents? Like how did you prepare?
So leading up to Fargo, in my practice room, I did a lot of training for my opponent in the finals because she did a lot of left side singles, like left sweeps. So I did a lot of sprawling, making sure I hit that corner, grabbing the leg and all that. I did a lot of cardio, which was very not fun. It was very, very hard. My coach made me do one like workout like 2 or 3 days before we left for Fargo. And it was one of the hardest workouts I've ever done in my entire life. I had like a heart rate monitor on, and I was doing like the bike, and then I'd have to go and do stance and motion, and then the bike again, and then stance and motion. It was really hard, very tiring.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we flew out for Fargo, and I think I was 1.8 over when we left, and then I was like 3.5 over when we landed. So then I had to do a workout, and I got bullied by my dad and Mr. Josh for being 3.5 over instead of 2.8 or 1.8 over. They're like, "How'd you manage to do that?" I was like, "Guys, come on." Yeah. So I had to do a workout with you, and I got all the weight off, which was awesome. And I had to go in that awful hot tub multiple times, which was not fun. I was like struggling to stay in there. And then after that, the day after, I think it was day of weigh-ins, I had a practice. So we had a team practice, but I practiced with my coach Boskin instead. Mm-hmm. Great coach, by the way. Awesome guy. I practiced with him.
Good plug. I said good plug. Good shout out.
Yeah, good plug.
We practiced. He's really fun to practice with because he makes it to where I'm not overworking myself while I'm trying to cut weight, but I'm still like working hard and learning stuff as I'm cutting weight. So he's a great coach with that. Every time my body would start aching, he'd make me get down, and then he'd like rub my arms out, rub my back out, and then tell me to get up and tell me to run. So it was great. And then I weighed myself on a check scale, and the person that was by the check scale was like, "This scale is 0.2 heavy." I was like, "Oh." So I went back out there and worked out again, but it was actually 0.2 light. So I ended up working out a whole pound off instead. So I was a whole pound under. I was like, "Oh, great." So I was done with that. I go back to the hotel, and then I just chilled out until weigh-ins. And I weighed in. I got in like within 15 minutes. And after that, I just ate and pretty much went to bed.
There you go. What's your go-to like post weigh-in meal?
Definitely Longhorn. A steak, a sweet potato, and broccoli.
There you go.
Damn,
that's what I'm talking about right there. That's good. That sounds good. That's good. Mm-hmm. Everybody usually goes for like pasta. I don't understand that.
No, I don't like having pasta after. You have to have like a meat.
That's like old school thinking. I mean, back when like there was like a big carb loading, like deal where that was kind of like the way to go. Just eat a bunch of carbs the night before, and then there's been a lot of research out there that now that that's just not the way to go. I don't know. Maybe for some people, I don't know. I'm just
especially if you're cutting.
Yeah,
like the best thing to get in is like protein.
I don't know.
Caroline,
I'm sure like that.
You're ahead of the game. Who's too?
Awesome.
Well, Caroline, it sounds like, I mean, obviously from your performance, again, if anyone got to watch you this past week and they didn't know who you were before, they definitely do now. I mean, not just by like you making it to the finals, but just being able to watch you on the mat. Like, I felt like every time, no matter who I was with, I was like, Caroline's a dog, guys. Yeah. Like, we're really good after you.
Caroline's so intense. Like, her getting ready for her matches. He's so intense. People would think he's like so mean, like such a mean person. And she's not even, it's not even close. It's like two like Jekyll and Hyde type of things. I mean, you watch her like get ready for a match. You're like, damn, I don't know, talk to that girl, or but exactly. Then you talk to her outside of any type of wrestling. She's just hilarious. She's funny.
When I'm warming up, like not much even goes through my mind. I kind of just like warm up. I like get really focused on like the matches before me while I'm warming up, and I just
And
like,
you're like, oh wait, I'm about to wrestle.
yeah, like I was like, oh god, I'm not supposed to be watching this, and I have to like actually warm up.
That's funny. Well, you do it in a way that is just so professional looking and scary almost. I'd hate to step on the mat. So, like I was saying, if anyone didn't know who you were before, they do know now. Caroline
Oh
Hilton,
yeah.
everyone. Do you have any questions for Caroline before we let her go ahead?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm sure when I mean, if not, it'll be. I'll ask him the multiple times that she's on here after this. This will simply won't be the last time Caroline's on our podcast. That's for damn sure. So she's got a
Absolutely
huge
not.
feature. But no, Caroline, we're super proud of you. I mean, we're so proud of
Thank
you
you.
that you represent our state and that just in how you represent our state. It's awesome. So just she's great. Hilton family's great. Proud of them all.
Absolutely. Hey, before we
Thank
let you go, is there anyone else that you want to like shout out or show some gratitude to getting you to?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely my team. They were so supportive. I got a lot of videos from a bunch of the girls on my team telling me like wishing me good luck and hoping I
It's
did
awesome.
well and to stay safe. And also my practice partner Senna. We
Go.
practice a lot. We have a good balance of being able to practice and be serious and learn stuff and also have fun and be silly. And
Good.
Boskin's also that way too. He has a great balance with just pushing me, making me work hard, and getting me through like these hard workouts and practices, and also letting me have fun and telling me jokes and making us all have a good time. So
That's awesome. You got a good team around you, Caroline.
I do.
Absolutely.
Well,
Lucky girl.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank
Congrats again, Caroline. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Bye.
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 Yeah, she's awesome, man. I tell you what, man, she's freaking tough too. Boy, dang, I like watching her wrestle. She's freaking tough. There's no question there. So
Yeah, no, she is tough. She
such a
and it's got
youngster.
swagger,
Dang,
man.
only going to be in going into a freshman.
That's
That's crazy.
freshman, yeah.
Yeah, you hit the nail right in the head with a swagger comment.
I like
That's
didn't know what word to use. I mean, I'm so scared to say it. So
yeah,
I'm like, what if
yeah.
like swagger's not cool? And I'm like,
No,
yeah,
swagger.
so
I think
she's tough.
swagger's always gonna be cool. You talk about swagger though. Wait till we get our boys guest on here.
There you go. Okay, yeah, share with us how
Wait,
how the guys do at the tournament.
wait till we get this guy on. But let me go through these results real quick, and then we'll get we had the Queen of Swagger on here. We might have the King of Swagger coming on here in a bit.
Perfect.
That's it
Episode
right there.
38, the show swagger.
All right. Well, on the boys' side, like I said, I'm really proud of the guys. I mean, again, we could have and maybe this is what we do next week is just talk about like the level of wrestling that's come to Fargo and the duels. Maybe tie it all in. We'll kind of chop it up and maybe play the idea a little bit. But just I mean, what a tough tournament. That it's just in general, whether it's 16U, Greco freestyle, junior Greco freestyle. If you're a Fargo All-American, it's no joke. It's no joke. But on the guy side, we did a great job. I mean, really very proud of our not only our All-Americans, but just the kids that participated. So we had a total number of 74 guys registered this year, which is another record. So man, hats off to all the kids that came and competed. We had 7 All-Americans in Greco with 2 finalists. And we had 2 men's freestyle All-Americans, and both were finalists. So freestyle All-Americans, they're both out of the 16U division. Hudson Chittum at 88, second place, and Ryder Smith at 215, second place. And Greco All-Americans in the 16U division. Hudson Chittum again was in the finals at 88 pounds. Titus Norman at 150 was 6th, and Zachary Little at 157 was 7th. Junior division, we had Jose Cordero was in the finals at 100, ended up second place. Hunter Sturgill at 150 was 4th, and Jarvis Little at 132 was 7th place, and Max Norman at 165 was 8th place. So just a great showing. And I know on the freestyle side, I wasn't there the second day of Greco. I was there the whole first day of Greco. The freestyle side, I know that just off the top of my head, golly, I want to say I know Max Norman was blood round. I know Hunter Sturgill was blood round. I want to say possibly Titus Norman and Zachary Little were possibly blood round also from cadets. So I mean, we also had some guys in there that were right on the verge of placing the freestyle tournament, which, nothing against the Greco tournament at all, but I mean, we're talking two totally different tournaments. The freestyle side is that's everybody competes in the freestyle side. Then the people that have a little bit more specialty towards the Greco kind of stick around for that. But again, super proud of all the guys that's represented us this year at the tournament. And yeah, as a team, boys finished 12th in Greco,
That's awesome.
which is awesome, and 16U boys finished 18th in overall. So yeah, not bad for state of Tennessee.
Not bad for good old Tennessee.
Not bad at all. And we keep getting better. We just got to keep getting. But we're getting better. But everybody else is too. And that's the thing.
Right.
It's like,
That's the way
we got
it's
to
supposed to
start.
be.
Yeah, we can't just
That's why you
say,
can't
okay,
stop.
we're getting better, and just keep doing the same things. I mean, there's a lot of things happening out there around the country with these big clubs and different leagues and stuff like that popping up, and we have to continue to stay ahead, and we can't just kind of rest on our laurels of things that we've been doing the past maybe 5-10 years, because we are still in a vast sign of improvement, but we've got to still stay in the cutting edge of what all the other people doing around the country if we want to. I mean, we're going to start falling behind again. So really proud of of our state and everybody for jumping on board and really kind of trying to move forward and continue to stay on par with everybody else. One other thing I want to take this time right now to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to our board of directors for our Tennessee USA wrestling side. I mean, we have such a very, very unselfish, non-ego board of directors. I mean, it's just everybody on the board of directors is 100% in it for the kids, just bettering the organization. Nobody gets paid, obviously, strictly volunteer. So just anybody from our vice chairman Derek Harrison, who was there the whole time on the boys side for the tournament, treasurer Josh Sturgill was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
These guys not only do a lot, on when the boots on the ground, but the amount of work that goes into managing, preparing, and all this stuff for this tournament is a lot of work, and then you got guys that are volunteering their time from a national team capacity, like a Mackenzie Fowler, who's our women's director, and also, is our team director for this particular event. Jarvis Little, who's our national team director, our national team leader for this event as well. To Nelson Shirley, who doesn't normally go to the tournament, but he's in charge of all the registrations and the countless numbers of hours that he puts together on the registration side, and then registering the officials logistics. And when he doesn't even do the boots on the ground stuff in Fargo, I mean, just because he's not there does not mean that a guy like that isn't a huge part of this whole trip. I mean, the moving parts, especially like right now, because we used to have a contingent of 15 kids and now we got 105, and just the manpower that's needed when you have that type of growth, it's just crazy, because you're dealing with not only 80 some odd more kids, but you're dealing with 80 some odd more parents and 80 some odd more questions, and just it's a lot. There's a lot going on with it, so yeah, I mean, like I said, hats off to them, and hats off, I'm sure I meant like and also the coaches that help volunteer. Yourself, perfect example. Brock Budesheim, another perfect example. Tito Navarro, these guys are just, y'all, what you're doing as far as, donating your time for a whole week. And that's what it is. We give you a little per diem money, which covers a couple of your meals. But at the end of the day, it's like all three of you guys are losing money because you actually have real jobs, So it's like, it's very difficult finding people that have that type of selflessness. So we really appreciate not only what they're doing, what you do for us and everything. So it's awesome. Yeah. So very, very proud of our organization.
It truly is. Like, they say it takes a village to raise kids. It also takes a village to send a few of them to Fargo. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That goes on, right? Even just like for me showing up, like, of course I get to do the fun part and stand on the mat and stuff. But I mean, there's so much that went on that I know that I have no clue or idea about that happened.
It's just even like the little stuff, like handing out gear and doing team meetings. It's just, all that stuff. I mean, it's just, there's so much that goes on with it. There's just a lot of logistics with it. So
yeah. So
very proud and very thankful
to any wrestlers who went to Fargo or parents whose kid went to Fargo. If you're watching, like, show gratitude to the people that you at least know that helped you to get there, right? There's people that you don't even know that did stuff behind the scenes, but to the people in your circle, to your kid's coach who took a week off to travel with them, to go coach them, or to any of our board members that you know. It really does. It really is just like a labor of love. So I would just recommend you say thank you to whoever helped your kid out.
There we go. Well,
All right, tell it. Let's
speaking of next, you mentioned the swagger before. So like I
swagger.
said,
Let's see what
we
kind
had
of
we had the
swagger.
queen of swagger on with Caroline, and let's bring the there's the king
I
swagger
see
right
it
there.
already.
What's up?
What's up? There he is, Hudson Ace Chittum.
Yep.
What is happening?
Not much.
Live from the Boom Ranch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it right there. You know Kenya? It's Kenya Sloan, my
We've never
co-host.
met.
Good to meet you.
Yeah,
Nice to meet
y'all didn't meet in Fargo, huh?
No, we
I mean, I
didn't.
got to watch from a distance, but
You watch Hudson Scrap a little bit though.
I got to watch him scrap. I saw that swagger.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, this guy, he'll even admit it. He's like, hey, yeah, absolutely.
He's like,
Yeah, you know the deodorant, the Old Spice deodorant swagger. He's like the
That's what I got.
main sponsor right there.
That's all me.
He's the main sponsor. This
I love
dude
it.
right here. I think that the new ad's probably coming out.
I'll be in that commercial.
You'll be in the next one.
I'm the star.
So what's going on, my man? How we doing?
Not much. Doing good.
Yeah, doing good.
Yep.
Yeah, but dude, it was so good. First of all, congratulations on
Thank you.
on multiple double finalists.
Yep. Thank you.
Man, we just super proud of you. I mean, just proud to have you just not only associated with the state of Tennessee, in the state of Tennessee, and we just appreciate you in general. But yeah, very proud of your performances and everything, man. But it was really so good to see you, because for those of you who didn't know, I mean, Hudson, has been training up in Iowa for this past year, and but he's always going to be a Tennessee kid. It's just the way it works.
Tennessee at heart.
That's it. And this is coming from an Iowa guy too. So I mean, I could very easily just say, oh, no, he's an Iowa kid now. No,
Yep.
no. I'm Tennessee. I'm a Tennessee guy too. So there we go.
There you go.
That's it. So yeah. So what'd you think? Walk us through your tournament. What you thought? Obviously, you would like to turn the twos into ones, but I mean, just looking back, and on let's start with the on the freestyle side first. Kind of walk us through your tournament, how you felt you wrestled, how you felt, a little bit, throughout the tournament.
I thought I wrestled pretty good.
Mhm.
Just kind of froze up in the finals a little bit in that first period.
Yeah.
But in that second period, I started to open up a little more. Other than that, I felt pretty good. Felt explosive in all my shots and stuff. So,
Mhm.
it kind of sucked because that first day on Monday when everybody was supposed to wrestle, I didn't have a single match.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even start wrestling till Tuesday. They gave me a whole nother day to recover, which was
Yeah,
nice.
that's right. It's true. Yeah, give you a whole day, another day to put some weight on, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you had that Mills kid in the finals though, and then have you guys wrestled before in the past? It's pretty tough.
Yeah, we wrestled at Tulsa this year.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how'd that go? Did you get him or he get you?
He ended up winning by I think 1 point at the very end.
Yeah. He's pretty tough. He's pretty tough
Yeah.
too. But I can see that your matches both very, very competitive. I'm sure both matches. So I'm sure that's probably I wouldn't call it a rivalry, but I could totally see that continue to happen over and over and over again as you guys continue to move up the ranks. So yeah, because he's a pretty tough kid. So, but yeah, overall, I thought you wrestled really well. I mean, like I said, it's not like you're getting beat by kids that you shouldn't get beat by. I mean, the kid's pretty tough, and
Yeah.
like I said, if you wrestled that freestyle match, 10 times, you guys both of you might win 5. Who knows? Yeah. Well, good. Now, transferring over to the Greco side, what'd you feel about that tournament?
Oh, I felt good. Honestly, I didn't train any Greco leading up to Fargo.
Oh yeah.
I had maybe 1 or 2 practices here when I came back for like a mini vacation,
Mhm.
and I had that with Coach Turner.
Yeah.
So other than that, all I had was those 2 practices, and then the few warm-ups I got to have with Coach Turner just to like refresh my memory on Greco and stuff. And then we rolled straight into the tournament, and I felt pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. Like I said, I was watching a lot of yours on my phone the next day because I was only there for the first day of Greco. But yeah, I mean, like I said, but yours, it's like riding a bike for you. I mean, you've been at such a high level for so long.
Yeah.
And Hudson's he's one of those ones. He's like literally been on the national level since I don't know, Since the first time he's like stepped on a wrestling mat. He just said, hey, you know what? We'll just give this guy, we'll give him past the front line. Yeah, that's like Hudson's deal right there. I think he just, started wrestling. He's pretty good. Let's just do it.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So now leading up to the tournament, how'd you get ready for it? What was
well, I was up in Iowa training with Seabolt this year, so I was getting ready with them for Fargo, and we had very intense practices. But managed my weight, had a whole weight plan laid out like 2 months in advance.
Good.
Just getting that weight down, and then week before Fargo, we had to make +2, so I had to make 90, and then after that, just keeping my weight down, managing it, and then feeling good and getting ready for the tournament. That was all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's what a lot of that's just what the really good kids do. They make sure that they're really in tune with their body and the preparation and everything like that. And you've had a pretty good. You've always, like I said, you hit all the big stuff. There's very, very few big competitions that you haven't been hitting in the past. I don't know, whatever, 4 or 5, 6 years, however long you've been competing at the national level. Is it one of those things where it's just kind of getting to be really kind of the same old type of routine where you're like, okay, I know how to prepare for this. I know how to get my body ready. Or have you like made like certain tweaks maybe in the last year or two that's kind of where you kind of, okay, well, maybe I'll prepare this way a little bit differently?
Well, throughout the years, you get better at preparing and knowing what your body needs and how to prepare for tournaments. So, probably the past 3 years, we've prepared a little differently every time. So like this tournament, since I was cutting more weight and, I haven't done a lot of the tournaments where you have to weigh in multiple times. So it was a different preparation for me. Like normally I would start cutting 3 weeks before, but we had to really manage my weight on this one because I haven't hit the 80s since January. So getting back down was pretty rough.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I hadn't seen you since, I think the last time I saw you was either in the fall at that Iowa preseason tournament, maybe, or
at preseason nationals.
And then seeing you at Fargo, I was like, all right, man, this kid's finally putting a little size on. He's getting a little bigger.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Was that part of the plan over this past year? Still plan to compete at a high level, but also put a little bit of weight on?
Yeah. Yeah. We were trying to get, through the breaks of tournaments, like have a tournament and then right after that tournament, try to get as big as you can and then get ready for the next tournament, so.
Now, now being a smaller guy like yourself, for your age group, is that a little bit, is that pretty difficult to do? A lot of kids, they just, they don't find it nearly as difficult to put weight on, it's just kind of natural for them. But like that being a smaller guy, is it hard at times?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. I get full a lot quicker. Smaller stomach, so it's not. I got to eat a lot more, but
yeah.
When I do get to eat a lot, it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite type of intake? What's your favorite food?
Oh, I gotta say, ramen. I like ramen.
Ramen. Oh yeah. Wow.
Love ramen. It's my favorite food.
Really?
Yeah.
Not like that with the one that comes in the package that's like 59 cents a pack. Is it not that one?
Oh no, that's my favorite one.
No way.
Yeah. If I'm off on a tournament or we're on summer break, I have that a lot. My dad hates it. My dad hates that I have it, but it's my favorite.
I figured an elite athlete like you would be like making your dad like drive you to like these new bougie type of ramen places have you been to any of those yet?
I literally had like my first ever actual ramen in Fargo this year.
Really?
Okay. How does it compare
place
to
at the mall by the hotel, and we had it.
Yeah. What were you saying there, Kenya?
How does it compare to the 59-cent packages of ramen?
Oh, it's definitely a lot better. Yeah, no, it's a lot better.
Glad we've elevated your standard.
Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you what, I went to my first ramen restaurant. Shoot, when was it? It might have been a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe. And I tell you what, it was lights out. It was out of this world. It was excellent. I didn't because I was just used to the ones that Hudson's talking about, those little ones that are cheap that you buy at the dollar store.
Takes about 5 minutes to make.
I know, but man, I tell you what, those ramen stores or the ramen restaurants that are popping up are really, really good. We have a really good one here in the Gulch. That's really good in Nashville. So yeah, you come to Nashville sometime, Hudson. I'm gonna have to take you to the ramen spot here in downtown Nashville.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good. That's good. Good deal. So like I said, we were getting back to you competing on the national level for so long. Is this just something that you just really like when you started wrestling? You just started going to all these tougher tournaments right away, or did you kind of work your way into it a little bit?
I probably worked my way into it. Probably
Yeah.
the first year, I would say I was just more local,
Mhm.
and then after that, we went national.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when you started kind of homeschooling and training out of the Boom Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell you what, people say what they want about the homeschool system, but if they produce kids like Hudson Chittum, I'm telling you what, I'm good with that. If I ever have kids in the future, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll homeschool because I got some really good. There's some really good examples of homeschool kids that are incredibly mature. You hear this kid just now talking about his preparation, Kenya? Isn't that crazy?
I know. I was so impressed. I wanted to be like, wait, how old are you right now?
This dude was talking about the same thing. I think I had him on the podcast maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, first time ever. And I was like, who is this kid?
Who told you to say this?
He's 14 years old. It's
Awesome.
crazy.
That's really, and it's so cool that you've got this down to such a science, and you've got people that can support you and teach you the way to do this the correct way. Because truthfully, like Hatch will tell you too, right? A lot of athletes don't figure this out until they're, near the end of their career, or they're in college, or finally trying to like make it big somewhere. But you're already starting it, so like this is just will be naturally like in your bones and in your body the higher and higher you go. And there's kids that are gonna be wrestling on the same level as you who haven't figured that out yet. Right? And they won't figure it out until they're 20, 21, 22. And it's going to be like a culture shock for them, or it's going to be hard to adjust. But you're like, what? I've been doing this since I was 12.
That's it. That's how it works. Okay, I got to ask you. I saw in the, who is it? Somebody's Instagram story or something. You guys went to horse races before you left?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the horse races on Sunday.
You
Where was that? Horse races in Fargo?
What was that?
Was it in Fargo?
Yeah, it was in Fargo. It was
Really?
it was like an 8-day event apparently.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you place any bets on the horses?
Yeah, you win any money?
Yeah, I won $5.
I knew Hudson was betting money. There's no way that runs way too deep. That Chittum family. That dude is not going to the track and it's sitting there and just watching horses run around.
No.
There is no way, whether it's legal or not. That dude he's either betting he's betting one of the guys that he went with. He's betting somebody on something.
Yep.
That runs way too deep in that Chittum family. So he won $5. That's good.
Yeah.
So now you're ahead in the whole horse racing betting game. Ramen, big ramen guy. Big ramen guy. Stud wrestler, stud kid.
Swagger.
Shoot, I think we got it all, Kenya. I don't know if we need to know anything else.
No.
That's pretty much it.
I think that's it. Yeah, we got our Swagger King, horse betting, Fargo finalist right here.
Yep.
Fargo finalist. Yep. Ramen eating. Shoot, that's it. That's all we need. That's it, man. We got the total package on here, Kenya.
Exactly.
Well, that's awesome. Ken, you got any questions for our young man here?
Yeah, Hudson, before we let you go, are there any specific names of people that you'd like to shout out or show some gratitude to for helping you get to where you are?
I'd like to thank, Seabolt Wrestling this year for giving me the opportunity to wrestle with them all year. And then Shane Chittum, and my dad for flying out to Fargo and coaching me and helped me through that process of Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a pretty good people right there that he's dropping names to too. It's got some of my favorite people right there. So love it. My man Hudson, always a pleasure to not only see you in person but chat with you on the over online, in the internet, whatever, doesn't matter. Always like seeing you.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Hey,
All right.
until the next time. Thanks, buddy. Man, I love that kid. He's so cool.
You were wrong. Full of swagger. This show.
I know, man. That guy, dude. I'm telling you, he's such a cool kid. He's such a cool kid. And I tell you what, he's tough, boy. He is a hammer, no question. So
man, you're so right. Maturity already at 14 years old. It's gonna go far.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tell you, back in the day, I didn't really know a whole lot about homeschooling, and how that goes. But there's just a lot more kids doing it these days. A lot more kids, parents, keeping their kids home and schooling them that way. And I'll tell you what, it's, some of the most mature and best kids that I have in my club that I know, like throughout the state or wherever. I mean, come through some sort of homeschool system. It's there's a lot being said for that type of schooling these days. It's very interesting. So that's, I mean, I was a teacher for 10 years, so I'm not going to bash, education and teaching and all that type of stuff. I'm not going to do that, but there's a lot being said for the amount of or to the type of kid and the quality of individual that's coming out of the homeschool system too.
Right.
So, like I said, perfect example right there.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. Well, there we go, Kenya. That's it right there. For had some good guests on. Two of our state's best, no question about it.
Exactly.
So I'm sure we'll have them on plenty of times afterwards. And next week we might have to, we might have to talk some more Fargo, because I think right now.
I love the idea. Yeah, we should totally do a coach's debrief of the Fargo tournament.
I think that'd be good. I think we need to do that. I think that'd be great. And then that way people can really, get an understanding of. Maybe we'll have Mackenzie and Jarvis on.
Maybe we'll have Mackenzie and Jarvis on.
Yeah. That might be the way to go. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll throw the idea around. See what happens.
Mackenzie will definitely shut it down if I say join us, but she'll.
All right. Well, we might have to get somebody else in, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. All right. Well, good deal. Well, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties on the front end.
Yeah,
we didn't have a whole lot of live guests on here because they didn't get the new link, but a lot of people watch anyway. On the rerun, so we're good to go. But yeah, next week we'll go. We'll figure out. I'm not sure if it'll be Tuesday, Thursday. I've got my Young Guns camp next week, so it'll have to be. I think we usually get done at 3. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, it might be an evening one. I'll definitely get it on social media.
See you guys next week. You'll figure it out.
Well, we'll see you out there next week. I'm going to put one plug in for our Young Guns camp next week. If you guys want something to do, that's going to make you a much, much better wrestler. We have a great camp starting Monday at the TOA Sports Performance Center in Franklin, Tennessee. Goes Monday through Friday. Young Guns travel camp is what they call it. And basically we have, up to this point right now, we are almost officially sold out, but I know we have over 180 kids registered already. That was just the other day. So I'm guessing we're probably, I think, we could probably plug in like another maybe 10 slots, but yeah, we got 180 kids that are registered from over 20, I want to say 21 or 22 different states.
That's awesome. I've got to, I mean, you would know better, but I've got to, I would think that this is probably the biggest camp that you'd have the opportunity to go to within our state, right? I would say this. Biggest, I'm not sure because I don't know the numbers of a lot of other camps. Actually, you know what? The UTC camp, I think there's a team camp. The Chattanooga, they run the team camp there, and I think they have 300 or 400 kids per session. They probably have 700-800 kids running through I mean, that camp's always been like when Heath Esslinger, when we were on staff there, Heath he started that whole team camp concept, and it's just been it's a monster. It's a big camp. But as far as like numbers, I think that would be it. But as far as, and I'm being very biased, obviously, but the coaching staff that we have coming in for this camp is tell us who's incredibly impressive. Well, first of all, we have obviously the original Young Guns owners, which is Jody Stripmatter, who runs Young Guns Pennsylvania. He was a 4-time All-American, 2-time Division II champ, an All-American, obviously, 2-time Division I champ, and national finalist for University of Iowa, and has, if you take the last 20 years, has probably had the most successful club, like hands down in the country. I mean, he's an iconic club coach in our world, because I mean he's had Spencer Lee, Vincenzo Joseph, Jason Nolf, Nico Michaludis, Michael. He's had I don't even know how many, like Jax Forrest is one of his guys. He's currently like one of the better kids. Bo Bassett, who's currently ranked number 1 in the country. That's one of his kids. So he's the Young Guns Pennsylvania. So he's obviously one of our main coaches at this camp. Eric Juergens was 4-time All-American, 4-time Iowa State champion, 2-time national champ for Iowa, runs Young Guns Iowa. So he's going to be there. We also have Coleman Scott, who was, I think, a 3 or 4-time All-American at Oklahoma State, national champ and Olympic bronze medalist coming in. Luke Becker, who is national champ, I think 3 or 4-time All-American from Minnesota, national champion
and is the head assistant coach at University of Minnesota right now. He's coming in. Michael Kemmerer, 5-time All-American from University of Iowa, former Young Guns athlete, assistant coach now at Brown University. He's coming in. Max Mirren, All-American from University of Iowa, ex-Young Guns kid. He's assistant coach. I want to say he's either the volunteer assistant coach at Brown or he's the RTC coach, one of the two, but I know he's at Brown right now as well on Jordan Lean's new staff. So he's in. Then we have, I want to say 4 other All-Americans that are coming in from University of Pitt Johnson. Yeah, that were just All-Americans this past year, working as camp staff. And then we also have an All-American from Lock Haven's girls team. I think her name's Ellie Scher, I think is her name, but she was an All-American for Lock Haven. So she's coming in on the girls' side as well. So yeah, there's a lot of All-Americans coming in. I mean, nothing against all the other camp. I mean, everybody has a great camp around here, but obviously I'm pretty biased as far as like the level of talent, coaching talent we're bringing in this next week. Yeah. So it would be well worth someone's time to come and learn wrestling.
It sounds like it, and it's in perfect timing, right? Like perfect time in the season. You don't have anything crazy going on. Like
it's gonna be a lot of technique. It's gonna be, but obviously there's gonna be a lot. There's also gonna be a lot of live wrestling. Yeah, I mean, you'll have kids from over 20 different states there to train with, so it's gonna be pretty impressive.
Be there or be square.
Well said, Kenya. All right, good deal. Well, thanks everyone. We appreciate you tuning in. Had to get that last one plug in for our camp because it starts on Monday. So we will see you next week. Pay attention to social media as far as the date and the time, and we will see you then.
Bye.
See you, everyone.